contribution in actualizing the aspiration of the people of Kenya. I also want to tell you, as a former member of parliament, that I know and I understand the challenges that we all face as leaders, and progressively we must work in collaboration together to overcome those challenges and to better serve the people of Kenya. Let me persuade you on three very important things. Yesterday evening, I had a discussion with the CEO of National Government NGCDF, Mr. Mbuno. And my discussion with him was on the subject of ICT hubs. Because I had an engagement with the chair of ICT, my good friend John Kiarie and his team. And we agreed that the same way, by God's grace, we have jobs, it is our responsibility to work together to find opportunities for employment for other Kenyans. And one of the spaces in which we can create those opportunities is in the ICT space. I want to thank Parliament for amending the NCGTF Act so that today we can use resources under that program in developing ICT hubs. When I saw that that program was not moving, I looked for the people concerned, and I'm very happy that this morning I did instruct both the PS and the CS for ICT and NGCDF to have a meeting and conclude the challenges that were there so that members of parliament can roll out ICT hubs across Kenya and provide opportunities for employment in our digital job framework for millions of the people we represent and who elected us. It is my expectation that in the next 3 to 4 months, ICT hubs should be up and running in every ward in Kenya. And I want to persuade members of parliament to work with us on this program. The other program that I want to persuade you on us working together is the program on export of labor. We are currently working on bilateral labor agreements. And I want my good friend Mushangi, aka Karemba, to work with my ministry and your committee so that we can conclude on the bilateral labor agreements with your input and support so that we can provide a framework for more Kenyans to find job opportunities across borders. It is my intention that in the next 5 to 7 years, we should increase our diaspora remittances from $4 billion to $10 billion. It is doable, and it will go a long way in making sure that more and more Kenyans have incomes that support the growth of our economy. Members, you are the ones who appropriate public resources. You know very well that we spend 650 billion shillings every year for the education of our children. If we are spending 650 billion, we must also think about how do we get value from this investment of 650 billion. We must think about the people who come out of that investment. How do we monetize their knowledge, their talents, their expertise, their skills, and use it to drive the economy of our country and the progress of our nation? And that is why we have to be intentional, we have to be deliberate. And I'm very happy that I'm speaking to a body of the highest leadership of the Republic of Kenya, that as you people appropriate those resources, let's also think about the output. How do we create opportunities for employment? And that is why I'm very, very proud that yesterday, Parliament finally ratified the Economic Partnership Agreement that will now give us a framework for enterprise, business, exports, trade between Kenya and the EU, 27 countries of the EU. I also want to tell you that as you are passing the Economic Partnership Agreement, yesterday again we were concluding another agreement with our friends of the UAE, again to provide expanded framework for business, for entrepreneurship, for trade between our countries. And I'm very happy that when we concluded that meeting yesterday, we got an offer, first offer of $500 million of 70 billion Kenya shillings to support our programs as we build greater synergy and networks to support our economy. And later today, we will be having another engagement with American companies under the AmCham program, again to better expand our frameworks, especially that will provide Kenya with investment opportunities, especially in our special economic zones and export processing zones. I was with my friend Kingola in Athi River, and I made a commitment that with a new traction and momentum we have created, by next year, we will have an extra 20,000 jobs in Athi River EPZ. This is what we must do deliberately, intentionally, because we have a huge backlog of millions of young people out of school, out of college, out of university, who expect us to create opportunities for them through government intervention, government programs, and us providing an environment for the private sector to create jobs for our young people. Let me conclude by saying that, again, we thank God we have rains in Kenya. Because of the rains and all the other plans we have made, we've managed to grow our agricultural sector, and we are making progress in making sure that we reduce the cost of living by making sure that we do what we have to do to support our farmers. But even as we get the blessing of the rains, we also have seen floods in different parts of our country. Many Kenyans are going through difficult times. Yesterday in the morning, I had engagement with counties that are facing this challenge. We have mobilized the National Youth Service. We've mobilized our military. Members of the national government are working with the counties in collaboration to support those in distress. We have provided from our Ministry of Special Programs food and other amenities to support those in need. This morning, I have authorized the National Youth Service to provide land for those people who are living dangerously in some of the areas, for them to be moved from those areas into some safe ground as we decide on what to do with them next. Shortly, I will be having another emergency session with our multi-agency teams to make sure that we provide adequate support to all those in need and to move citizens who are in dangerous areas that may be susceptible to floods away from those areas. And unfortunately, we will have to move some of them even without them agreeing, because otherwise they put themselves in danger. The Deputy President will be having a meeting tomorrow with all the other actors, including our development partners, to facilitate greater collaboration to deal with this challenge. And I want to ask members of parliament in their respective constituencies. I've managed to talk to a few yesterday, I've talked to some governors yesterday, for all of us to have a whole of government approach, a whole of society approach in supporting those in need. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, we have a chance to deliver for Kenyans economic transformation that leaves no one behind. No man, woman, or child, wherever they live or work, and whatever their agenda of faith, must be part of our equation. We must remind ourselves of this duty to look out for every citizen at all times. It's now my pleasure to declare the Bunge Towers officially open. Thank you very much. God bless you, and God bless our great country. Asante sana.